This is a very big stage for a small person. I'm just saying. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Faye.
I'm Faye. My name is Faye Mata, and I'm gonna walk around this table, and then when I get tired, I'll sit down. But hi, I'm Faye Mata, and I'm a voice actor. I voice characters like Aqua in Konosuba, and Yukiko in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Astolfo in Fate Apocrypha, thank you. Rin Hoshizora in Love Live, Petra from Fire Emblem Three Houses, Matera from Grand Blue Fantasy Versus and other things like that, Lulu in League of Legends, and some other stuff. But yeah, this is basically an AMA panel, Ask Me Anything. And yeah, so I'll just talk about myself, voice acting, things that I've done in the past, like I used to compete in video games, for example, up until, let's see, I think it was in July, I was with Panda. They used to be called Panda Global, but they are Panda now. They have rebranded. I stream now on twitch.tv/FayeMata. I should post a lot on Twitter, and I'm working on making TikToks, but I just need some motivation. Yeah, so yeah, you can ask me anything. That's basically what this panel is. Wait, do we have another mic for you guys? Tech! 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 Do we have another mic? That's how I get what I want. Because we should. I don't know how I'm going to hear you otherwise, because this is a big room.
Sorry for your loss earlier.
So we'll just, I could try to hear. Anybody have a starting question? Anybody want to go first? Oh God, I hope people have questions of this panel, or it will be a lot of silence. Hello, you.
Can I just test your memory? All right.
That's a bad idea. My memory is like there's goldfish and then there's me.
All right, so I won't feel bad at all if you don't remember, but in 2019 at Ichiban-Con, I was like one of the first ones in line for the autographs, and you doodled an aqua.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you remember that? I was wondering.
I doodle a lot of aquas. Yeah, yes, I do.
Okay.
I remember. I do remember Ichiban-Con. Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah. Is that? Yes, go for it.
How did you get into voice acting?
How did I get into voice acting? So I can answer this question in a few different ways, because there's like, how did I get the interest? How did I get into it professionally? Or even semi-professionally? But the answer that I usually give, I don't know, there's different ones, but if you want to clarify more specifically, what you want to know, professionally, okay. Well, so I happened to enter a contest at Anime Expo a while back, and it's kind of a funny story because I was just going there to enjoy the con with some friends, like you guys. But as I walked around, I saw this really long line, and like a cattle in herd, I was just like, in a herd, I was like, hey, what's this line for? I just fell into the line. And they were like, oh, it's a voice acting competition. And I was like, oh, that sounds cool. I'll just chill here and wait in this line, because I was meeting up with friends later, but I had time to kill. But anyway, so like I get to the end of the line, and I'm up next, and it's for Magi, what is it called? Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic. Yeah. And so I had to go up to the mic and then read a script, and basically the short version is they liked what they heard, and I ended up getting a call back to go to the studio. And when I got to the studio, I got to basically say all these different lines in different voices, and they were just trying to figure out like what can I do exactly. And I became one of their options for like if they have categories, right? Like, okay, girl who can do like, I don't know, no, teenage female voice or something, and I'll be in that category. They'll like email me and say, hey, we have this audition for a teen female, and we think maybe you could do it. So, and anybody that they have would probably receive this email. Yeah, so that's kind of how it started, but there's so much more to it. So I guess we do have the time, so I'll talk about that. But I do remember, if anybody is a fighting game player and know what EVO is, I was actually at EVO at the time I got the call. Wait, raise your hand if you've ever been to EVO, or at least heard of it.
Heard of it.
Oh wow, okay, there's a lot of people. Okay, yeah, so EVO is a fighting game, it's a bit like the biggest fighting game tournament in the world. And it's just like, there's so many people that the cell signals like jam. So apparently they were trying to call me back several times to let me know that I am one of the winners for that voice acting contest. And I think I got like the very last call because I stepped out of the main room and I actually got a signal. And they were like, we've been trying to call you. I thought you didn't, we had the wrong number, you didn't care about this. And I was like, what? No. So I almost didn't even do it. But yeah, I just thought that was crazy because I was there doing one of my other passions and then connecting with a new passion that became a really big part of my life. Yeah, so when I first started doing voice acting for this studio is called Bang Zoom Entertainment, and they're in LA, this is in Los Angeles. I was like, all right, I think, in my opinion. Like, I think I had, at the time, a pretty good range. Like a lot of people with their friends, they could imitate things, like meow at cats, and like in a video game, and you repeat that, and you could do it perfectly. But there's definitely a big difference between being able to imitate a line exactly, and being able to sustain that kind of voice, and say any other like new sentence or paragraph or whatever in that voice. So I think, even though like growing up I was in school for, I mean I had like drama club and stuff like that, but I wasn't really studied to be an actor. But yeah, so anyway, my point is, I think that my acting was like all right at the time. I was just like some kid that thought it would be cool to do voice acting. And I think that's actually relatable for a lot of people. Like you fall in love with your video games, anime, whatever it is, and you go, man, it would be pretty cool to like do this. I think I could do this. And friends say like, oh, you have a great voice, you should try it. But there's just so much more that goes into it. Like I feel very lucky to have, won that competition. But I think Mami Okada, who tends to be the casting director, also just hears potential. It's like, okay, she's not quite there yet, but I think she can get there. And yeah, so needless to say, without giving you my entire life story about that, I put in a lot of work. I took so many acting classes, like acting class after acting class, because I really, really enjoyed it. It was a hobby that turned into like a real passion, that like a career rather. Cause yeah, like we all love just doing voices, but there was something that was Okay, I'll tell a different story. So one of my first things that I worked on, it was just incidental roles. So incidental roles are like the people in the background, like, I don't know, there's a marketplace and someone's like, fish, we got fish for sale, you don't really hear them because they're in the background. It's just like all this chatter. We call it walla. So I got to act as different characters in Toradora. That's what it was. It was Toradora with Alex Von David, who is a very, very talented voice director who happened to do Sword Art Online and Konosuba and many other amazing things. He's very, very talented. But I worked with him on Toradora, and I like direct feedback, even if it's harsh, because it's like you really won't improve if you just tell everybody like, or if you're just told like, oh no, it's good, no matter what, right? So I was like, after the session, I asked him honestly, like, where do you think I am? What do I need to work on? And I think that's an important question to ask anybody in any profession at any point in your life. And he was pretty direct. He used to be notorious for like making actors cry in the booth because he's pretty harsh, but he's so good at what he does. He like makes magic. And he wasn't particularly like mean, but he was pretty stern when he told me like, I think your acting could use some work, and I think you've got the ability to be characters and you have the range, but I'm having a harder time really believing it. And I was like, you know what? Thank you. That hurt, but I get it. And this was many years ago. But I took it to heart. I took so many classes, and I worked on that. And yeah, a lot of the special sauce for the best acting is to just have experiences, pull from like real things, and it's different for different people. But for me personally, that's what I needed to do. It was like I need to really. I don't know, like you have to believe that you are this character when you're actually recording something. So it's that can be tricky for different people, but it's hard to explain. But when it comes from a genuine place, it feels more real. Like it's like you have to make a connection with the viewer, with the listener, and that's something that I didn't understand that many years ago. But fast forward many years, and I ended up working with him, I auditioned for Konosuba. And Alex Von David, that same guy, the same director, was also helping to cast. And he went through, and I heard this later from him, but it was just like, oh, that's Faye. That's Faye. I guess he liked my audition. And so I ended up getting cast. And I was just like, I can't mess this up for many reasons. Like I was super nervous. I had already worked on several things before that, but Aqua was a big deal for me because it was like she is like a main character or like often main featured character for Konosuba. She's my favorite color, and there's like it's a comedy, and people love this in Japanese already, and it's one of the most nerve-wracking things. To know that, there's like that ongoing sub versus dub war where people will like poop on you for without even like listening to the dub or anything. But, and none of this had happened yet, but I was very much in my head like, oh God, what are people gonna think? I have to do a good job. And also, this is AVD, Alex Von David, AVD. And I really don't want to let him down. He's gonna make magic though. We're all gonna work together and do our best. And it was like one of the best things I had ever recorded in my life. Working with him was amazing. I felt really good about, I don't know, if you've seen Konosuba, like I poured my heart out into that show. I loved it very, very much. But yeah, I would like legit get emotional even though it was, it was supposed to be funny, but she's panicking, she's crying. In the moment, I'm actually thinking sometimes, like, I don't want to let anybody down. And so I'm thinking that I'm channeling it into the performance. But what I love about Aqua, too, is that she has so many different facets to her. She's not one-dimensional. Like, I think a lot of anime characters can be, and especially if it's comedy. And this is like a parody of isekais, but she, like as an actor, she was a gift because I got to, be sneaky as her, laugh as her, cry as her, act like she's totally emotionless and dejected, voice act as other characters as Aqua as she's trying to convince people to join the guild, sing, just like, it was amazing. So, and then articles came out later saying that it was like one of the best dubs that they've ever heard, and I'm just like, oh my God, is this real life? So yeah, I mean that's the basic journey. Sorry, I try to keep it concise, but yeah, it's been crazy, like going from like a fan to thinking I can do this thing, getting feedback that like you're all right, but you could definitely be better. We see potential in you, and then doing it. And like articles crazy in my work, and coming to conventions, being invited to conventions, and people sitting in seats like listening to me talk about whatever, it's actually crazy. So thank you for being here. Yeah, does anybody else have any other questions? In the back there. We have a mic now, by the way. If you guys could line up if you want. I think that'll be good. Sorry to do that. Also on stream, that's kind of what I do. I ramble and I go doo doo doo. Hello.
Hey, so a lot of your characters have a ton of energy. I can tell it's channeled really well. Is it possible for right now to channel blue? Just because I like to harass my friends in game with laugh spam and all that.
A solid giggle should do the trick.
I am Sam.
Hello.
I was at your booth the other day, yesterday. So I heard about your mom, and I heard about the loss of your mom.
Oh, it was my grandma actually, but thank you.
The tweet was, I can notice it when this tweet was on around, so.
Yeah, my grandma very recently passed away, unfortunately, but she was like my mom. She raised me for the first few years of my life, and she was just always making food for us, and it was really sweet. So, but thank you for your condolences.
I noticed that you had a stream because you did some stuff with the Shadowverse.
Yeah.
With the Hololive members. What was that like?
Yeah. So, are any of you guys VTuber fans? Okay, great. So, I did a collaboration with Giguk. He's not a VTuber. Giguk the VTuber. Kiara, Takanashi Kiara, and Mori Calliope, the Grim Reaper from Hololive. And it was a blast. So we all played Shadowverse together, and it was like a really fun tournament. Yeah, what was it like? I don't know. It was like any other like really fun experience. I tend to not question things too much anymore. Like the person that I mentioned before that was like always in her head. I think I shed that personality a little bit. I mean, I still overthink things, but I think it's in a healthier way. But basically what I'm saying is, now it's more like, something comes up, it's an opportunity, feels spontaneous, I just go for it, and then I'll, review later if that was a good idea, which may or may not be healthy, but I think I've had a lot of great positive life experiences and memories because of that. And I would say that event was one of them.
Thanks, Faye.
Yeah, thank you for your question. Hello.
Hello. So this is in reference to a line that Lulu says in League of Legends, where you say, "Yep, that tasted purple." I was just wondering, can you explain what purple tastes like?
Yup, that tasted purple. Purple tastes like magic. I don't know what purple tastes like.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hello.
My name's Aiden, and I actually want to become a voice actor myself someday. And I was wondering, what can you say that can actually inspire future voice actors?
Sure. Okay, that's a really good question. So, what I usually recommend to people is, first and foremost, don't forget to take actual acting classes. Like, not just voice acting classes, but acting classes. Like, you need to have that base. And then the second thing is, do things in life. Have experiences. Don't be afraid to try new things, because those things are what you are going to pull from to make your experiences, or your performances real.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Hello. My favorite anime. I never know how to answer this question because I feel like that changes once in a while. Like most recently, I saw like Kaguya-sama and Jujutsu Kaisen, and it's like I like both of them, but how do you compare those? They're very different. But also the ones that I worked on, like Konosuba, was like that entire experience is incomparable. So it's really hard for me to pick one, but I might just say out of bias and all the experiences I had around it, Konosuba.
Hello.
Hello.
What would you say are your favorite
okay, so that's a great question for those two specifically. You asked about what my favorite memories are with them?
Yeah, no favorite qualities or anything really.
Yeah, okay, so regarding Astolfo and Petra, Astolfo from Faye Mata, Petra from Fire Emblem Three Houses, it's actually, okay, this is gonna sound like, what do you call it, PR-y, but this is honestly like, how do I say this? The fans who have come up to me regarding both Astolfo and Petra have actually like changed my life, like have taught me things and made me feel a lot, what do you call it? You know, for a lack of a better term, I'm just gonna say woke. They make me feel woke, because like Astolfo, I'm going in, I'm doing like best boy job. I'll try my best to embody this character, and that's a completely separate experience. Just being in the booth alone, recording those things, from going to a convention and having like 3 Astolfo cosplayers come up, talk about how they are trans and that Astolfo represents so much to them because they feel seen and accepted, and like it's really cool to like be be able to cosplay even as that character. And I'm like, oh my god, like I mean I personally like, what do I say? Like I didn't make Astolfo. So part of me is just like, thank you for thanking me. I wish I don't know. I guess like to them it was like I could be that physical embodiment of that thing that represents something really, really positive to them. And that means so much to me. And similarly with Petra, a lot of people who are like minorities or English is not their first language have come up to me and talked about how they're really glad that they experienced a character like Petra who struggled with English or trying to fit in, that kind of thing. And it's just like something that's not even related to the material itself. It's not related to like the work I did on Petra specifically or like Astolfo. It's what it meant to them and like sharing that with me. That kind of like, I don't know, it's crazy to me. But yeah, those two specifically really stand out. It happened today in my autograph line. Yeah. So thank you guys. I love it when you guys share those stories with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Petra is very good for that. Struggling with learning languages and all that. I spoke as well for the LGBT community.
And they're both wonderful characters. I feel very lucky. Thank you. Hello.
I have 2 questions actually. I really love your passion for voicing Aqua. Is there another character? Who's your favorite character that you have voiced? And also, do you?
It's okay. I'll answer your first one first. How about that? Go ahead.
If you could have a collaboration in Shadowverse, which of your characters would you want to be able to voice, and what card deck do you think they would play?
Oh, okay. Okay, so I have a few favorite characters. It's really hard to pick like one, and especially because I had different experiences with them. So like Aqua, I told the story of like my journey with Aqua was like huge with like working with ABD later. I think he's one of the best, and like seeing it come out and seeing articles that like it's one of the best dubs and all that was like huge for me. But also for Lulu, I played League of Legends before I even got to voice Lulu. So like that's an entirely different favorite experience of like, wow, I played this game like a lot, and now I get to be in it. That's so cool. And then another one, I'm trying to like speed through these, but like Yukiko from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Up until that point, I did not, or I was not really cast ever for like deeper voiced characters. They always cast me as like high-pitched Genki girls or like silly, like all that, like that kind of range. And it wasn't until, it was actually Sword Art Online Gun Gale. I voiced Fukajiro in that. But during the auditions, I noticed I got Len and Fukajiro as options to audition for. Both the cute girls. And I was like, I want to audition for Pita Hui too. She was like the more mature, like badass girl. And I'm like, I never never get to voice deeper voice characters. So I took a shot and I emailed the casting director. Hey, could I audition for Pitahui as well? And I was really nervous to do that, but she obliged. I got the audition. I didn't get it, but shortly after that, I got an email saying I was cast as Yukiko Yamagishi in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Diamond is Unbreakable Part 4, and I lost my mind. Because, I don't know, when I showed up to the session, it was Tony Oliver directing, who used to voice Rick Hunter. He was also Lupin the Third, legendary dude. Legendary. It's really crazy to work with him. So he was directing Yukiko, and at first it was like a high-pitched voice, because he was like, well, I mean, they cast you, so usually that's, and I was like, I don't know if that's actually what they want, and you're listening to the Japanese, and it's like, well, it's kind of, lower. And then after that session, we got feedback from the casting director, no, we wanted her to do the lower voice. She can do it, just trust. And so anyway, so that was a whole other favorite experience of they believe in me to do more than, what I felt like I was boxed in at the time. So yeah, I've had a lot of favorites. It's more like favorite moments, and a lot of voice actors say this, but it's like picking a favorite child. It's hard to do that. You have positive experiences with all of them, and and then Sofo, oh god. I mean, I mentioned and Petra. I love them all. Okay, it's really hard. I have a story for each and every one of them.
Good, you should.
Thank you. Oh, and then the other. Okay, yeah. It's hard to say. I'm just gonna say Petra Sword because it's easy.
Thank you so much.
Yep, you got it.
Hi, Faye.
Hello.
You mentioned having been the Evo of the movie.
Mhm.
So I was just curious what you competed in and who your main character was that you played.
I've played mostly weird games like Smash, and weird as in not traditionally FGC, but Smash and Pokken, which was a complete accident. Wait, are there any competitive gaming fans in the? Oh my god, I've been streaming so much. I was about to say in the chat. Oh my god, that's a weird experience. Anyway, I asked because I just want to tell a side story real quick about Pokken. Pokken is a game that I picked up for fun. I was stressed out with a lot of, I don't know, just stuff I was working on, school or whatever it was. And I wanted to just play a game for fun, not compete in it or anything like that. So I played Pokken because I like Pokemon and I like fighting games. That's it. But I played it so much because competitive gamers, they can't help it. We have to grind. I played it over and over until the stupidest hours at night. And because Pokken had this online ranking system, it's so hard to not if any people play League or any Valorant, anything that gives you a ranking, it's just one more game and I'll get to the next rank. So I was just doing that over and over, climbing the ranks in Pokken, and I was streaming it for fun at the time. And then a friend of mine contacted me and said, hey, there's local tournaments for that game and you seem pretty good at it. You should come by and check it out. And that was a 2-hour drive south for me. But I was so into the game at the time, I was like, yeah, I'll check it out, why not? So I did. I drove 2 hours south, went to this tournament, and I had so much fun. I did I don't remember what place I got. It wasn't top 3, but I did pretty well. And because the game had just come out, there were a lot of chillers there, people who usually go to that tournament. What is it called? Esports Arena. They have all kinds of fighting games there. Anyway, so I did pretty well, and they were like, yeah, you know what? You should come back next week, because it's a weekly. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I had fun. I'll come back. So I did come back the next week, and the next week, and then the week after that. And then suddenly, I was just a local competitor. And then Pokemon announced, or no, I think maybe before this, Pokemon, the company, had announced a circuit. They're gonna have basically a global tournament, which will conclude at the Pokemon World Finals in, I think it was San Francisco, somewhere in NorCal at the time. But basically, I ended up going from, oh yeah, you know, I'll just pick up this game casually, to traveling all over the place, competing in this game, as well as Evo. And yeah, so like, I put in the work, and a lot of it was also the family that I met along the way. Oh my god, I really just said that. Like, friends, I mean, it really was though. It really was about the friends I made along the way. I mean, it's like going to an anime convention, you know? You might see the same people once in a while, and maybe you're wearing the same cosplay or like from the same series, and then you just end up talking to each other, and it's like, oh yeah, we both like Faye. So then you make friends. That's just kind of what happens at tournaments too. You just meet people, and if they're all going to the same spots for the circuit for points, yeah, there's just a lot that goes into it. Obviously, I'm very passionate about this.
Is it definitely a slippery slope? Like after the first tournament, sometimes it's just you're flying across the country for the next one, you know? So.
Yeah, exactly. But I played Suicune in that, and I played Brawl as like a child. It was a Cyan Game & Watch, like the obnoxiously bright one. So if you went to Battlefield, you couldn't even see it. It was great. And then they changed it to like this dark teal, and I was like, I don't know you anymore. So I don't play Game & Watch anymore. And I picked up, I liked Zelda in Melee, and then I found out her best move was down B. That changes her into Sheik, for anyone who doesn't know. And Sheik is like a busted character in that game. Not busted, but like one of the best. And then I played Palutena, I played Rosalina in 4. And this happened twice in a row, okay? So people that know Smash, they've grown at these characters. Rosalina in Smash 4 and Palutena in Smash Ultimate. They ended up being like the top tier characters, or among top tier, and I didn't know that. Like, I literally picked them at the beginning because I thought they were pretty. That is it. That's it. I just thought they were pretty. But yeah, that's basically what I made. I played other things like Street Fighter and stuff. Like, I just entered tournaments, but I was not nearly as dedicated to those as those other ones. Thank you. Hello.
Hello again, Faye.
Hello.
I don't know if you remember, but yesterday I did an interview one-on-one with you.
Of course.
I couldn't get through all the questions because, we only have 15 minutes. So I wanted to take the time to actually ask you here one of the questions that I had, which was, what would you see yourself doing if you didn't have any of the voice acting stuff?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Sorry. What would you see yourself doing if you didn't do all this voice acting?
Oh, I see. Okay. Where would I see myself anywhere if not here or doing voice acting stuff?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Actually, this gives me a great opportunity to talk about. I'm actually very much interested in tech and AR, augmented reality, like AI kind of stuff too, machine learning. All of that is really, really interesting to me. I actually have this weird dream. It's like so far away to me, but also maybe, I don't know, it's like there's a lot going on in my mind where like I still kind of feel like maybe I'll start my own company and make AR fashion real. That's what I really, like that's something that I think would be really, really cool. AR, augmented reality, if you ever like used Google Maps and like looked at something, or like played Pokemon Go or something and like see something in real life through your screen, like those are versions of augmented reality. But there's just, I don't know, there's so much that goes into it. And I think it's really young, and there's a lot of potential for it to be like crazy in the future. And it's easy to be scared of things like artificial intelligence and all that, but the thing is like people are doing it anyway, so like why don't we just get knowledgeable on it? That's kind of how I feel. And like try to like do things for good. That's kind of what the dream is, otherwise. Yeah, and I think I could do both. So I've actually been thinking about that.
You should try.
See? Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
So I was at the booth yesterday. You signed my supersized Switch when we were talking about the Atelier Fierce.
Yeah, that was amazing.
And I had a phone call quickly about that when we were talking about Alfred. I was going to ask about that. How did you guys meet? Like how did you meet Alpharad, like in the first place?
Oh, Alpharad!
Yeah, Jacob.
Yeah. So I also have a story about Atelier Fears. But how I met Alpharad, so I don't know if you guys know the internet funny man, Alpharad. He does YouTube things. He's really funny. A lot of like Smash stuff, but he's been changing up his content to just be like anything like hilarious.
I think first time I think I saw you guys kind of collab was Among Us.
Yeah, we were playing Among Us together. So raise your hand if you played Among Us. Yeah, so like it's almost everybody in quarantine played Among Us at some point with friends. And the thing is, like, a lot of streamers and YouTubers noticed that they could just like, play with each other because everyone, like, usually you stream and you're by yourself, and you probably notice like a surge of people doing collaborations with each other because it's just like really fun. It's really fun. It's great content, and it's a good time. But how I met Alpharad was I made a tweet saying that I want to do an all voice actors tournament or something like that, like get a bunch of voice actors together and do a Smash tournament. Yeah, and it was I want to do an all voice actors tournament, and I am looking for commentators. That's what it was. And so he replied to that and said like, hey, I can do that, and probably helped with the whole thing. We didn't exactly end up doing it, but we connected over Discord and we talked a lot, and we played Fall Guys with each other. Like one time, like all night until we one more gamed each other. Like if you see the chat log, he actually tweeted it, but it was like one more game, one more game, one more. It was like that, and it was like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. or something like that when we finally stopped. But that was like from a initial let's talk about this tournament conversation into like just getting to know each other and then like that whole thing. So yeah, that's basically how we met, but yeah, we just became friends after that, joined Discord servers together, played Among Us, whatever. Like I met all his friends too, and we're all just friends.
I also think you guys were playing Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I think you forgot Alfred's audio in one clip, and then
Oh yeah.
I saw that, I was like, hey, I don't
He also made me fight his hard DK, which was a jerk, by the way. I don't know if you guys know this, but Alpharad has this amiibo. It's a DK amiibo.
I think you called it.
Amiibo that he called hard DK, and just trained it up to be like impossible to beat. He had a whole tournament or an event where he had like pro Smash players try to beat hard DK, and they struggled very, very hard. And so yeah, I had a stream where I also got to fight hard DK, but I was able to bring a partner, which was Wolfie VGC, and we had a great time. That was fun. But thank you.
And you said you were going to bring something about Atelier Fears.
Oh yeah, so I'll just share real quick. Atelier Fears is this. I don't know. Have you guys heard of Atelier at all? Atelier. There's different ways to say it. Yeah, go ahead. Well, it's a series. It's a JRPG series. And when I was little, I always dreamed of like maybe sometime being in a JRPG. And so when I got cast as Furious in Atelier Furious, it was like, oh, I'm the main character. I'm in a JRPG. And the whole game was about her like escaping this small like boulder town that she was living in. Like she wasn't allowed to leave basically. And I grew up in the Midwest in Wisconsin, in the middle of nowhere, a town called Kenosha. And I felt like, what am I even gonna do here? I guess I'm just gonna like follow what everybody else does, where you like study something, get married, have kids, have the white picket fence or whatever go on. Anyway, Furious in the game leaves that boulder town because she just wants to see the world. She wants to do more. And the whole game is like it's really cute. It's about like exploration. It's you can like freely roam around the world. I think it was the first one where it was like open world. The first
it was.
Atelier, yeah. So yeah, it's just very cute. You pick up different things and you make new things with alchemy. But it was also one of my first roles. So it was just very it represented a lot to me because like I had taken the risk to move out to California, do these things, and yeah, it all worked out. But even if I don't think Atelier Furious as a game performed that think they didn't have much promotion on it to begin with, too.
I think it was until like last year, they started to promote Atelier Ryza.
Yeah.
That's when it really started.
So I don't know what happened there exactly, but it doesn't matter to me. And that's another thing. Like, people recognize my roles as like, you know, the bigger ones, like Petra or Aqua and stuff. But there are some roles, like Atelier Fierce, where they actually meant so much to me from experiencing. I was like, yeah, it's just like, oh, this is a dream come true, and this game existing means a lot to me. No matter what other people think, like, this means a lot to me. And I feel that way with like a lot of the roles. So I'm just really lucky that other people like it too. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, it's Aqua! Hello! What was your favorite scene? Wait, it's like the Spider-Man meme. Wait, what was your favorite? Oh, okay. What was your favorite scene to voice act in Konosuba? Oh, okay. And are we getting a season 3? And what? And are we getting a season 3? Oh, I don't know that. I know that there were some things on. I mean, I know basically what everybody else knows, and like what people tag me in. Actually, oftentimes people tag me in things like people know about it before I do. I don't know. And even if I did know, like I wouldn't even be allowed to talk about it, which actually would put me in a really awkward and unsafe position, you know? Because like, if I did know and like people could tell I was like lying or something, that's like the same thing, right? Like I don't want to like break any NDAs, but no, I really don't know. Anyway, favorite scene in Konosuba? Oh, it's so well that I worked on.
The one that you voice acted. Yeah.
Okay.
What was your favorite one to portray?
That's really tough because there are a lot. Like a lot of them are really fun for different reasons. Like I said earlier, like she had a whole range I got to play. It was actually the first thing I got to work on where I got to sing in a show. So like there was only like one small gag, but when she was singing in the cage was fun. Saying like purification. That was really fun too. I don't know, there's a lot. Like when she's just like using different voices to encourage people to join the guild, I thought that was hilarious.
She used Darkness's voice in one, right?
Huh?
She used Darkness's voice in one, right?
Yeah, or just try to be different people, acting like there were more people than 3 or 4 in the guild, which is just silly. And then, what else? I don't know, there's so many. Like just her being drunk anytime was funny. Being scared of the little ghost things. Oh yeah, there was that scene. I think it was like, I don't know, it's like one of the later episodes. But she's like crying over like her drink. Actually, it's when she was just like you. Yes. Yeah.
I think Kazuma said that he might sell the alcohol from her.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to pick one because like every little scene with her can be like cut to a bit that's just like a fun clip online. You know, like when people like tweet or make TikToks or something of like a short thing, and it's just like I feel like there's so many moments with Aqua that are just like that, where they're just like in and of itself are so funny. It's hard to pick one.
I told my husband, I was like, I said to him, I was like, well, Gifted is special, and he's like, you said that just like Aqua.
Perfect. I love it. Thank you so much. Hello.
So now that all the Smash Bros. Characters are out, DLC is over, I was kind of curious, we're talking about it. How do you feel about each of them, you know, now that Sora's out? What's your overall opinion of all the DLC fighters?
I don't really have much of a strong opinion on all the DLC characters because I figure when they put them out, except for like, no, even Piranha Plant has its place. Or just like, I think there is something for everyone where like, someone will be really happy that this character is in the game. And I feel like Plant is one of those that's just like, it did become like a funny meme, and like people like funny memes, right? K. Rool's Banjo, like people ask for them forever. Well, K. Rool's not DLC. But like Joker, obviously everybody loves Joker. yeah, I mean, I feel like every single one that was announced had a place in it.
So,
Even Steve, I made memes about Steve that he was my ex on Twitter. I should post a lot on Twitter. But I was like, oh, my boyfriend's Minecraft Steve, but now, yeah, anyway.
so is there now any favoritism towards Violet by any chance?
Is there any favoritism towards Violet? No, not at all.
No love
Not at
for
all.
Professor.
No, I mean, I like Violet as a character, but when it comes to Smash, I think more about, like, do I like this moveset? Do I like how it feels? Like, I thought maybe I would like Pyramithra because I like the aesthetic a lot. Like, it's how I picked Palu, right? I was like, oh, I love the aesthetic. But she drops too heavily for me, or too fast, or whatever it is. I don't know. Like, there are things that just need to feel right, I guess, when I play them. And so I ended up not switching mains, so I'm still a Palu main. But yeah. Oh, but I will tell a quick Smash story, I guess. Where, like, when Violet was released, there were different characters in the background of Eric Ma that got to, like, show up. And Petra happened to be one of the 3 black eagles in the back. And I lost my mind. I made so many, like an emotional, like long, what do you say? How do you call it? Like I'll just call it a twit longer. It wasn't a twit longer, but it was like several messages of like how I'm just like so happy that Petra is in Smash. I always wanted to be in Smash. Smash means so much to me. She doesn't say anything in the game at all. But the character existing, and me voicing her in the other game, was enough for me to be like, oh my god, I'm in Smash. We take those, okay? We take those. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
All right. You have a question?
Okay, so you just mentioned a few minutes ago how you're not allowed to break NDA songs again. Big trouble.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but I am curious, like,
Oh, can you come up to the mic so everyone can hear you?
has there ever been like an India that's okay, my question is like, what's the hardest India to not break? Like, even if it's a character or like some kind of project you're working on, like, which one's been like the hardest to keep?
That has already come out?
Yeah, like obviously.
Oh, okay. Well,
like, obviously nothing that's hasn't come out yet because I quit the NDA.
right. Yeah. The hardest to keep was probably Aqua, actually, because that didn't come out for I think it was like 2 years. All of us thought it was never gonna come out. We thought it was never gonna come out, and I had to just like sit on that forever and just be happy with the fact that I got to work on it. And then Crunchyroll out of nowhere was like, we have a new anime, Konosuba dub. And I was like, what? And then suddenly, a lot of interaction. It was really crazy. But yeah, I'd say it was that one. Hello.
So you just said the Konosuba dub was made before it actually, years before it actually came out, right?
Yeah.
That's very funny because one time I was getting a picture with Christina B. and I had a Konosuba phone case. And she's like, oh, I like your phone case. And I'm like, thanks. And then 2 years later she gets announces. I guess that's probably
Yup. That's
I
why.
was right when she was actually voicing it.
Exactly.
But,
So I actually had what do you call it? There was a red carpet event for anime in LA, and because I knew I was going to be on there and everybody takes photos, it looks nice. I bought a dress and everything. But I went to a hair salon and I had them do a loop in my hair, and I could not explain it was a reference to Aqua or anything like that. I just had a loop in my hair. I just want, it looks anime. That's all. No reason. So I did entire interviews with this loop, and nobody found out until later. Oh, she voiced Aqua. she knew at the time, or I'll be Sorry, did you have a follow-up question?
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
You bring it up made me think about that. That reminds
Oh
me of
yeah.
that time.
Thank you for sharing. That's really funny. It's really hard to keep those things into. I'll tell a little story about FDA after this. Hello.
Hi, Faye, I'm a big fan.
guess my question would be, as a voice actress, have you ever come across any hardships to the point where you thought maybe this isn't for me? And if so, how did you overcome it?
Have I ever come across an audition or like a role that I thought wasn't for me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. Yes, actually. I would actually say mine from Shield Hero. When I first got that audition, it was from episode 1, where she was like super nice and everything, and I was like, oh, it's like she's this princess.
No.
And I was like, yeah, I'll audition for that, so I did. We record episode 1, and it's like, oh, she's kind of a huge, like, she is not a likable character, if you guys don't know. And you know how I said, like, try to pull from your life experiences to do your best performances? I actually had a really hard time relating to mine. I was like, I don't know, like, how someone could have this much hate. Like, it was just like, I don't know. So I think I managed to pull off people complimented my performance for like when she was on trial. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who's like still gonna watch it. But like she was like panicking and stuff, and it couldn't be comedy. That was the other thing. And even villains like Yukiko's kind of a villain in JoJo, but it was still comedy. With mine, it felt like it had to be real, and that was a struggle for me. I definitely like would end some of those sessions like completely mentally exhausted. I was like, I need to like sit down. that was so intense. Because you guys don't know, she in the very first episode accuses the main character of
Definitely.
sexually assaulting her, and then he gets basically banished or what do you call it? Well, everybody doesn't like him anymore, but the viewer knows that Mine did this, and she's a liar, and she's deceitful and awful and fake and all this stuff. And so yeah, it was really hard to be like, this is me right now in the booth.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions? Talk about, if you have a question, feel free to just come up. But I'll talk a little bit about NDA. Also, I don't know how much time I have. Do you know when this ends? I just want to make sure I don't go over either. Oh, 9 minutes. Okay, that works out. Yeah, so when it comes to NDA, I'm trying to remember what it was I was going to say. Oh yeah, so the thing about NDA is like, even if it's already recorded, like you worked on it, it's all done, there's no guarantee that you're still going to be the person when it releases. And even if you hear about a release date, there's no guarantee that that is going to be the release date. Because like game companies are their whole other thing. They might decide they want to put a new feature in or redo something, and so the game release itself gets pushed out, and they're not going to tell all the actors that they changed something. So oftentimes we just don't even know, and sometimes like they'll go a different direction even with a character, even if they already recorded everything, and be like, I think we should change this voice because I think it should be grittier or whatever. I don't know, whatever they decide. Because it's their IP, it's their property, they can do whatever they want. So sometimes people will get recast, and they're not gonna inform people sometimes. Actually, they usually don't. And so people won't find out until later when the game actually comes out, or show, when things actually come out that, the creators made some changes. And so if you break NDA and you were also recast or something else happened, like it looks doubly bad for you. So sometimes we just like wait until it's actually out and we can hear a clip of ourselves to announce. Like there are times where I don't say anything at all, even if there's like, even if I know that the game has released or show, and I haven't heard myself yet. I need to see that. I don't think I actually have been recast. I don't know. Nothing big at least, but it definitely has happened to some people, and that's rough. I think it's awkward, definitely awkward. When people are like, I voiced this character, and then they find out, oh, that actually isn't me. So they recast me. That's awkward. So all actors are like we try to be pretty careful about not breaking NDA for several reasons, but that's one of them. Also, like, if you do break it, like for example, I think there are several cameras in the room right now. If I just say like one wrong thing and that reaches, you know, the creators, they could be like, ooh, she's too much of a risk. She's talking too much about this thing. Like any one reason, they could recast you or be like, yeah, even if they like your performance, they could be like, oh, she's too hard to work with. So like we're just extra careful to not break NDA. Like I know I've like seen stuff about like online, I don't know, people have tagged me and mentioned that there might be like a season 3 of Konosuba or things like that, but I legitimately do not know. I don't know. And even if I did, I just can't say anything if I did know. So yeah, that's basically how NDAs and panicking over them works. Okay, any last question? If not, how much time do we have still? What? 5 minutes? Okay, well, I'll just say some closing words, I guess. I'm really grateful that you guys have come to my panel, and I'm really grateful in general to be here. It's my first time ever in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you. It's been really cool. I'm really grateful to the con for inviting me at all. That's kind of how conventions and guesting works. Like we have to be invited. So usually, the fans contact their local conventions and be like, we want to see after this person or whatever. And then yeah. Anyway, just me being here, it means a lot to me. So thank you for all your support. I know there's different types of panels like this where you don't know what you're gonna get with an AMA. I prefer to just be real and tell stories. I wish I was just naturally funnier, but I kind of just riff from the heart. That's all I got. So yeah, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you around the con. I hope you guys have a great time. And that's it. Thank you. Oh, of course, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, without the mask. Oh.
I'm gonna go see Congaria.
Voice actor. Voice actor. Probably don't. Like, I figured they come to the
Oh,
Don't forget your mask, Faye.
yeah.
She took your mask off.